Damn, we really gotta vacuum this car, bro. Sheesh. I'm gonna get out this hot ass car because it is too hot. So we back. On the last video, we left off installing the Z1 coil packs, and that did fix a lot of the issues that we were having, but we're still not quite there yet. I do think we got a small lead. I think we got some injector issues. Maybe we got some injector leakage. Maybe just one, maybe just two, maybe just three, but I'm not sure yet. I will have to check. Yep. Alright, so on the last video that I uploaded, we got the Z1 coil packs installed, and that did fix a lot of the issues. I did see a lot of, improvement with the car as far as like ignition. So I don't think my problem is anywhere near ignition related at this point, but I got suspicion that my fuel injectors might be leaking, bro. And I do got a little way that we can test that right now. The other day I did prime the system like 2 to 3 times before I started the car, and once I started it, we did get a backfire out of the tailpipe, and the hesitation was just even worse. So that leads me to believe that we might have 1 or 2 more leaky fuel injectors, whether that's internally or externally. Keep in mind, right, these cars are 23 going on to 24 years old, so the odds of 1 or more 2 injectors going out at this point, it's pretty high. You know what I'm saying? They're built to last, but they're not built forever. So I'm gonna prime the system by just putting the car in the run position and then turning it off again, and doing that like 3-4 more times. I'm gonna pull all 6 plugs to see if I see any fuel inside the cylinder. I don't have a borescope, so I'm just gonna pull the plugs one by one and see if I do see any fuel inside the cylinder, whether the spark plug's wet or anything like that. Even if I do smell some type of fuel, if the car has not been started at all for 2 to 3 days and I pull the plug and I smell fuel, that's not good. There are some other ways that you can test this, but this is the cheapest way and probably the easiest. Yo, also, bro, I gotta stop talking so much. Holding this damn camera up like that got my arm pumped. I feel like I'm hitting arm day or some shit. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take out 1 plug before I actually prime the fuel system, just because I want to see if I get that smell before and after I prime the fuel pump. I see them, Z1. All right, well, that's not good. I don't know if the camera would focus right there, but all we're getting right there is just a bunch of oil, and that's from the actual valve cover tube seals. So that's another thing we got to replace, the valve covers for the Z. And why do we got to replace the whole valve cover setup? Because they don't sell these tube seals individually, bro. So prime the fuel pump a couple of times, and then we're gonna pull the plug out and see if I smell any sort of fuel. And if I smell fuel, then that probably means we got a leaky fuel injector. And this is only on 1 cylinder too, so I mean, we gotta test out all 5 other cylinders, but so far, before priming, no fuel whatsoever. I just smell oil. So let's put it back in and then prime the system. All right, so when I say priming the fuel system, this is what I mean. This is all you gotta do. Put the car in the run position, and when you hear that fuel pump, that means the fuel pump's priming. So do that a couple more times, wait like 5 seconds. Again, you hear that fuel pump prime, wait 5 seconds, do it again, and you kind of get the point. You do this about 5 or 6 more times to get the fuel pump, priming the entire fuel system. And then we're gonna check that actual cylinder number 2 to see if, the actual fuel injector is leaking, which oddly enough, I kind of hope that is the case, because at least we have something, Time to pull this plug and see what we got. And for those of you wondering, yes, I am using some tape on the socket because I don't have a spark plug socket. So this is the next best thing. Just make sure, if you are doing this, make sure that when you're tightening this and when you're gonna put the coil back in, you don't have any like tape residue inside the actual tube seal. So that way you won't get any interference between the spark plug and the actual, coil pack. I don't know if it's just me, but I do smell a tiny bit of gas. But keep in mind, this is only 1 cylinder. I'm gonna test out all other 5 cylinders to see if I am getting any fuel smell. And since the system is already primed, all I gotta do is just pull each plug individually and smell it. Yeah, wait till somebody asks me like, yo bro, what you doing on your day off? Yeah, I'm just, just casually smelling gas. The usual. 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. Holy shit. Bro, I think we just found the fucking problem. Yo, that is crazy. Nah, there's no denying. This one definitely smells like fuel. That shit smells like pure gasoline. That is crazy. Wow. Yeah, and it's strong too, bro. Trust me, I know what gas smells like. I'm a fucking addict. Bro, you know what's crazy? That's only 2 plugs out of like 6. Already that's proof enough that we need to replace all 6 injectors. And also the 2 fucking valve covers. Oh my god, bro. This is the reason why I'm always broke. Dealing with this piece of shit. I almost don't want to keep on pulling plugs just because I know that the fuel injectors are the issue, or one of the main issues at least. But let's move on to the other side and pull. I'll pull one more just to be sure. I'll prime the system a couple more times and then pull either 1 or 2 more plugs on that side just to see if we could actually get a stronger smell out of the plugs. Treasure, that is what you are. I'm gonna pull this one in the middle right here. 1, 2, 3, which is, I believe, is cylinder number 3. I'm gonna see if we get, that nice fuel smell from this cylinder. Oh my god, bro. Like, it's so heartbreaking, but it's so satisfying at the same time finding the issues with the car. So I know I'm gonna have to spend more money to fix those issues, but just the fact alone that I'm actually finding out what's wrong with it, that is so satisfying. Pull this plug. Nah, you wanted a 350Z, right? You wanted this old ass Japanese car, right? There you go. Club going up on a Tuesday. Got your girl in a cutting sheet. Yeah, bro, that smells like gas. That is crazy. Side note too, I don't even know if these are the actual factory injectors that came with the 350Z, like just from the factory. Because as you guys know, I bought this car used, and that's the problem with buying used cars. You never know what parts were installed onto this car. Because I mean, exterior wise, you could pretty much tell anything that's been done to the car that's not OEM. But when it comes to inside the motor and things like injectors and other complicated things, there's no real for sure way to know before you buy the car. It's not like I'm gonna tell the guy, yo, can you open up the plenum just so I can see if you got the OEM injectors in that bitch? Come on, bro. Can you imagine the guy before me had like some 700cc injectors in his car before I bought it, and that's just been the issue the whole time? Because look, when I bought the car, the guy told me that the car was tuned, and whoever the tuner was that did the tune on this car did a horrendous job, because all they did was set the ECU to dump a bunch of fuel into the cylinder so that when the car, got slightly hot, it would shoot out pretty basic looking flames, nothing crazy. But here's the thing. I don't know if in that process they actually changed the injectors or they kept the factory ones. Which, if they kept the factory ones, then that actually makes sense as to why the injectors would fail in the long run. If they kept the stock injectors and they tuned the car to dump way more fuel than it should have, then they're demanding the injectors to do something that they're not meant to do from the factory. So in the long run, that can damage, OEM performance. That just goes to show, bro, if you're gonna tune your car in any way, make sure you have tunable parts on it, not just OEM. See, this one's not that bad. This one just smells like grease and like, oil, and like a slight hint of gasoline, but not as bad as the other ones. Look, bro, I don't want to hear shit. When you're low on resources, tape always works. Smells good, smells healthy. I don't smell any raw fuel. And keep in mind, you're always gonna get a hint of like slight fuel mixture, just because that's what the spark plug is doing. Essentially, it's just lighting the fuel mixture inside the cylinder. But you're not supposed to get that raw gasoline smell that I just got from the last 2 cylinders that I checked. And that's what the problem is. I think our main issue is on bank 2, on the driver's side. That's where we're getting a lot of the issues from. All right, here's the thing too, y'all. I want y'all to keep in mind, just because we're not getting that strong smell from those cylinders over there and we are here, so that means we're leaking here, like the injectors are leaking here, but they're not leaking on the other side. Just because they're not leaking on that side, it doesn't mean that the spray pattern is healthy. That can cause a misfire as well if your injectors are worn out and you know they're 23 years old, as I'm guessing, because I don't think that these were replaced at any point in time. The spray pattern is inconsistent or it's weak or anything related to that sort, they might still not be leaking. But if it's the spray pattern is not there and they don't, you know, project the right amount of pressure when the car is running, then that can also be an issue. So it's not just because they're leaking, you know, that's the only issue that they might have. Your injectors might also be clogged in some form of, you know, in some way, shape, or form. But I did run a Techron fuel system cleaner in one of my previous videos, so I don't think clogged injectors are the issue. All right, well, this fucking sucks. We just keep finding problems. Like, I guess I'm glad I'm finding these problems one by one and I'm diagnosing them by myself. And I don't have to pay anybody to, you know, do it for me. But damn, bro, that in and of itself, that has to be like upwards of $1,000 just in between those two things. And no, for those of you asking, I'm not going the cheap eBay route, bro. I've been down that path. I'm not doing that shit again. Listen, bro, I speak from experience. If you're gonna mod your car in any way, shape, or form, just do it right the first time. Just spend the extra money on the quality part that you know is gonna last you the lifetime of the car. Oh my God, I'm about to cry, bro. You know, I've done many things on this car before. One thing I've never had to do before on any car, any platform, is change fuel injectors. I already did the valve covers before, but I gotta admit, I cheaped out. I went with the eBay route and I got some valve covers that were like $75 for a pair. And now my tube seals are leaking again. So yeah, don't do what I did, bro. Just spend the extra money the first time so that way you won't have to be dealing with this bullshit again. I heard Concept Z Performance makes some amazing valve cover replacements, either OEM or the aluminum ones, which those are probably the ones that I'm gonna end up going with. Even though the plastic ones, they do tend to last a pretty long time. Most of them tend to last upwards of 100,000 miles, but still, bro, I'll probably go with the aluminum based ones from Concept Z Performance, or I don't know if Z1 sells the aluminum package as well. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'll have to check that on their website. It looks like the 350 is gonna be down for another maybe 2 weeks, as much as that hurts to say. Maybe a month, I don't know. It depends on how long the valve covers take to get here, as long as the injectors, which I still have to order. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for today. We didn't do much, but I mean, we did do a lot. Y'all get what I'm trying to say, bro. Sitting in the car right now, and the car is nowhere near finished, and it's nowhere near where I want the car to be yet. But in the future, there's gonna be a point in time where I look back at this exact video right now, and I'm gonna see all the progress that I've made, and it's all going to be worth it. So if you rocking with your boy and you like the vibes and you like the style of the videos, just go check out my Instagram, man. There's more there to be seen. I post the behind the scenes of every single video. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. I am trying to hit 100 subs, so if you could drop me a sub down below. And yeah, man, as always, I upload every Monday. I'll catch y'all in the next one.